I hold here in my formerly nicotine-stained fingers a copy of The Ants Crawl in Circles by Tohm Bakelas. This is his latest collection of poetry. Tom is not a fan of having his poems read aloud. At least not in the typical poetry voice that people do. He spent an evening at an apartment of a girl. She read his poems out. And here's what he had to say about that. In his poem, Patrick Flynn said this was a great poem. After she gets done reading, he says, I told her it was all wrong. She read it wrong. There was too much drama in her voice. She threw the book at me and told me to read it. I did. I read it exactly how it was written. She laughed and cackled. Where is the excitement? Where is the energy? It's not Shakespeare, I said. It's a fucking poem. I have reviewed Bakelas before. Somebody who had read the review I did on his last book, Cleaning the Gutters of Hell, commented that Bakelas is a Bukowski wannabe. This is a common accusation of the people who write who don't come up through the academic channels. They're not modernists, they're not very poetic, working class people. And in fact, Bakelas, he writes plainly and clearly. But he's also poetic. It's a poem here, The Pizza Counter Girl. Just a little bit of poetry to this one. Every other weekend, I see her standing there behind the counter at the pizza stand, and sometimes I see her from a distance, a lone lighthouse on the cliff of a misplaced memory, shining on the shore of an absent desire. That's some good poetry right there, last couple lines on that stanza. He's got another poetic one in here too, kind of silence these critics. Monday Morning's the name of this poem. Years of Monday mornings, the day always arrives, it never changes. The clock ticks slower, people move slower, the transition into Tuesday is slower. Some Mondays are worse than others. It's the trap door between the ending of the weekend and the beginning of the work week. When I get these books, thump here at my door, UPS, mailman delivers them, I open up the envelope and I see that I'm got a new collection of poetry just released. I know what I'm about to get. I'm about to get bawling over Donald Trump, climate change, COVID, and so on. Trending right now. Tohm Bakelas doesn't care about what the current trend is. He's writing what he wants to write about. He's not a rhyming poet. However, there are some slant rhymes in here, a couple of poems, and I'll bet if we had the chance to ask Bakelas, did you intend these to rhyme? I bet he would say no. This would probably even surprise him if he sees them. This poem called Crumbling Man. Those living who pass beneath them often resemble a broken clock, ticking, ticking, skipping, stopped. Nice subtle little rhyme. Like I said, natural flowing. I bet he didn't even intend it. There's another one in here like that too. Find that one. One for Dylan Thomas is the poem. And you remember Dylan Thomas, the Welshman that drank himself to death. Grave men who weep at life offer little hope in dying candlelight. Notice that on natural flow, I bet he didn't even intend it. Some of the poems in here are bleak, to say the least. I think that's probably Tohm Bakelas' trademark, bleakness and depression. Like I mentioned before, though, he's got some poetic poems, too. This one, titled I Am Here Again, is pretty dang dreary. I have pages stacked high of suicide notes that are uncollected, unorganized, and collecting dust. These pages bear more of me than I've ever shared with any one person. And the letters turn to words bleed my blood, and the sentences depict a broken being. Desperate am I for another's touch, Yet when I had it all, I pushed it away, too blinded by my anger to see my own demise caused by my damaged hands, and now I am alone again. He is not completely without humor, though. Bakelas works as a social worker in a state-run psych ward, and he's a single parent. Makes for some humorous poems. He has one here called Cadence Cheers Me On. Cadence is the name of his daughter, Kaydence. This poem is subtitled after Bukowski, and you'll wonder why, but you'll see here in a minute. My daughter's scream is a hawk screech from hell, echoing off the bathroom walls as I sit on the toilet letting everything go. She smiles and shouts, "Daddy poop on potty?" Yes, that's right, pretty girl. I'm pooping on the potty. Poop, Daddy, poop. Words of encouragement to carry out the act, a crowd of one cheering me on. He goes on to the end of the poem. Yes, yes, Daddy's all done pooping. Now please leave me alone so I can wipe my ass in peace. Tohm Bakelas. This is his publisher sent me this and sent me some swag. Let's see what we got here. In addition to a collection of poetry, they sent me a couple of bookmarks here. Between Shadows Press, a couple of decals, and a postcard with a Tohm Bakelas quote there on the back. Sent a couple of chapbooks too. Frigoli and haikus, near cues, faux cues, and fuck yous. Okay. Big thanks to the publisher there. All right, check out this Tohm Bakelas collection.